Hello, everyone. With so many people taking this time to restructure or reevaluate their Blackboard materials, I wanted to take some time to share with you a tip or a trick that I found very useful with my own students, and that's adding an availability tab in Blackboard. In terms of skill level, this is probably like an intermediate level Blackboard skill. In terms of time intensity, it's a little time intensive on the front end. It'll probably take you about 10 to 15 minutes to get all this set up. But I will say that it's one of those things where you only have to do it one time. Once you do it once, you can kind of pretty much use that same information in all of your classes. So here's what I'm talking about. If you look at my class in Blackboard, you'll see all of the standard kind of tabs over there on the left. And then if you click this Dr. Strong Green's availability, you'll see a calendar. Now, this calendar is actually synced to my teaching schedule and my Outlook calendar of like appointments or meetings. And so what I like about it is it automatically kind of blocks out times I'm not available. I don't teach on Saturdays and Sundays. I'm not available to students during that time period. On Friday, I have a class that meets from 8 o'clock in the morning until 10:45 once a week. So I'm not available to help students during that time period. I also like that it kind of helps me to be more prepared for meetings. A lot of the times I'll have students who want to stop by to talk to me, like maybe they want to go over something about their essay. And in between the time I've given them their grade and that appointment, I've read 40 other essays, so I don't remember all of the specific details. So this helps me to be more prepared because I know exactly who's stopping by and why they are stopping by. So let's say someone wanted to see me at 1 o'clock on Friday. They would click this button and they would be prompted with this form where I'm going to get their name. I'm going to get their email address should I need to reach out. I added in this drop-down menu. You don't have to have it on there, but I want to know, hey, should I be expecting you to stop by and visit in person? Are you going to call? And then some just kind of brief details of like, hey, what are you coming by for? And that sort of eliminates the what I call hangout mentality, where they just want to come and talk to me for a little while and maybe I need to be grading or something. So when you look at this on your calendar, normally I use the Outlook program. I'm using the web-based version while I'm working from home, but this is the last student who booked an appointment with me prior to the college closing for the COVID-19 pandemic. And so you can see that, here's all that student's basic information. And this guy was stopping by to talk to me about a project in my humanities class called the art assignment. Now, from my perspective, I have personally also set my YouCanBookMe account to give me a 5-minute warning before the student shows up. And that's just to kind of remind me to wrap up whatever I'm working on so I can be prepared to talk to that student. Now, in terms of what you need in order to do this, you need an Outlook calendar, which you should have if you are using your school email address. So this is just my augustatech.edu email address. You need Blackboard or, a place to stick this calendar. I also put my calendar in my email signature. I'll discuss that in a second. And you need something called a YouCanBookMe account. YouCanBookMe is absolutely free. You go to the website YouCanBook.me. When you get there, I recommend that you sign up using your Microsoft account. And that's just, again, because you're using an Outlook-based calendar. So when you click that sign up option, you'll be asked to, register an email address and stuff. Just use your Microsoft or your school credentials. So mine would be, astrong-green@augustatech.edu. I'm actually already logged into a YouCanBookMe account. So once you're logged in, this is kind of where you arrive. I absolutely recommend watching the tutorials. They teach you how to do a lot of cool things, but in the interest of keeping this short, you would click create a new booking and then this edit settings. So when you get to the edit settings page, just to kind of give you a very brief overview of what you're getting here, you got to name your calendar and then you create a booking link. So this booking link can be really helpful. As I mentioned, I also put my calendar in my email signature. So if someone who's an external stakeholder, not a student, needs to book an appointment, they can do the exact same thing. And they're getting the times that I'm available to work. In terms of calendars and teams, I like to personally keep my work life and my personal life separate. But if you wanted to combine those two things, like you could add in another Gmail account or you could add in another Outlook account. Times and availability is really useful if you are a person who works both days and nights. So I teach evening classes on Mondays and Wednesdays. So I'm here until 7:15 where, I'm finished teaching at 11 o'clock in the morning on Fridays. And so I can set the days and times that I'm available, and I change that every semester because it changes every semester. You can also add in like lunch breaks if you like. I typically work through my lunch, so I don't actually block it out, but if you wanted to, you could do that. The booking form is where you go in and add in that basic information of, hey, what do you want people to tell you as they're making these appointments? So as I said, I ask my students to tell me, how should I be expecting you to reach out? And, what are you reaching out for? This notifications button is useful in two regards. So the first is if you want to give people the ability to cancel appointments, this is where you kind of set those things up. And that goes for you as well. So, if I'm not feeling well and I need to leave at, 11 o'clock and I know I'm not going to make this appointment, if I were looking at this on my Outlook program on my desktop, it would have a link at the bottom to cancel or reschedule the appointment. And if I did that, it would automatically clear that time from my schedule, and it would send the student a notification of, hey, this appointment has been canceled or rescheduled. Also, if you want to set up things like, hey, I'd like, a 5-minute warning, or here's how I'd like my time blocks to be set up, that's the stuff you do here. Style and appearance is pretty self-explanatory, I think. So if you want to change the way that it looks, this live booking page just lets you see what your calendar actually looks like. So as you can see, I added a note at the top of my calendar. And then the most important thing you're going to need to set this up in Blackboard is the share and embed page. Before I move away from the screen, it's super important that you click this online page. That allows people to actually book the appointment. So if I turned this off, people could see my calendar, but they wouldn't actually be able to make appointments on it. So what do you have to do to get this in Blackboard? I actually have not set up the YouCanBookMe page in my Learning Support Blackboard shell. I strongly advise, if you're going to do this, that you do set these tabs, or you place this schedule on your actual master course, because if you put it in your master course and then you copy that master course down, it's going to copy down into every single class. And so I've already set it in my humanities class. It's already set up in my 1101 class, but I do need to actually set it up in this learning support class. Now, you can place these links wherever you want in Blackboard. It's been my experience that when I stuck them under the Start Here tab, because the calendar was so big and large, it took up a lot of space on the screen, and students, had difficulty scrolling to the bottom of the page in Blackboard so they could see, files or other announcements. And that's why I've just elected to make it a tab on the left side of Blackboard. So if you want to add it in, you click this plus and then you opt for a blank page. You can name your blank page whatever you want. It's been my experience that my last name is too long to fully type out, so I'm just going to name this page Dr. SG's Availability, and then I need to make sure that the tab itself is available to users by clicking this checkbox. So I'm going to go ahead and click Submit, and now, as you can see, that tab appears on the left-hand side of the screen. So because I chose to stick this on a blank page, there's literally just nothing there. And in order to put the calendar there, I need to click this HTML button and then copy and paste that code. So in going back to the calendar, to YouCanBookMe, I click the Share and Embed button, click Embed, and then copy that code. So I'm going to stick the code in this box and just click the Update button. Now it looks like absolutely nothing has happened, and if you click the Submit button, it's still going to look like nothing has happened. You're just going to see that blank box. If you're trying to figure out, hey, did my calendar actually populate properly, just turn off your editing privileges. So if I turn off editing, this is what my calendar is going to look like for any student who's logging into Blackboard. You can also hit the student preview mode. It's just been my experience that takes longer, and you've got to go back to your homepage, and that's it. So now that I've stuck this in my master course, and when I copy it down into my learning support classes, this calendar is going in those classes as well. And I stick that same embed code on a blank page in all of my classes. So it's in my humanities class, it's in my world literature class, it's in my English 1101 class, and it helps to kind of alleviate some of those challenges. So I'm not overwhelmed by students. They know exactly when I'm available. They kind of get the ability to make an appointment with me a little bit easier. So they're not having to go to the announcements tab and download the syllabus to see when I'm available. They just click in this one place. And again, by adding that link to my email signature, I have given people who I interact with outside of my students the ability to do the exact same thing. So if my coworkers or my dean wanted to make an appointment, they could do that as well. I hope that this is helpful to you. It's been enormously helpful to me in keeping kind of student-teacher appointments productive. If you have any questions about this, I am happy to help. That's my email address if you want to reach out to me. If I could offer you one final tip, it would be to be mindful of your time zone changes with your calendar. It has been my experience that at certain points in the semester, usually around the time that daylight savings time occurs, that my availability will shift. And for some reason, I'll be available at 4 o'clock in the morning, but not at, like 2 in the afternoon when I'm actually at work. If that ever happens, just click time and availability and go back and change your time zones. I hope this is helpful. Take care of yourself and have a great day.